Hi guys, I am Miss Howington. I am your AP Environmental Science teacher. So we're here today to talk to you about why in the world you would want to study environmental science and cover some basics like what is environmental science and that kind of thing. So to start off, we live on this lovely planet that we call Earth, and that's where we get all the materials that we need to use to live. And we have to share all of these materials with everybody on Earth. So we're not getting any more stuff on Earth. We're not losing stuff on Earth either. So we have to live with what we have, and we have to be able to share that with everybody. And we have to live with all of the waste that we produce. So that's where environmental science comes in. It's a multidisciplinary study that looks at how we interact with our environment and how we use our natural resources. So the UN, or the United Nations, has 3 projections for how the world population could grow in the future. So there is a thought that maybe in the next couple of years that we will have reached our carrying capacity, that Earth can't support any more people, and maybe our population will start to decline or level off. And so maybe by the year 2100, our population might drop back down to about 6 billion people, or maybe it might level off when we hit about 10 billion people, we think. Or it could just keep exponentially growing. We could have more, we could be able to access more resources or use our resources more efficiently, so we could just keep growing exponentially. And we could reach like almost 16 billion people on Earth by the year 2100. Right now, we have a little bit more than 7 billion people on Earth. In 2011, I believe, is when we hit that 7 billion mark. So that's a lot of people in a finite space.
So the first thing is that we need to know what environmental science is. It's an interdisciplinary study of how humans interact with the living and non-living parts of the environment. So interdisciplinary means that it's a mix of natural sciences, social sciences, and humanities. So we have 3 goals for environmental science. The first one is to learn how nature works. So we're going to ask questions about the functioning of nature. The second goal is to understand how we humans interact with the environment. And then the third goal of environmental science is to find ways to deal with environmental problems that might arise. So all in all, what this means for you is that it doesn't matter what you're interested in. It doesn't matter what you want to be when you grow up. Environmental science relates to you and to your life because this is the environment that we live in, and we all need natural resources to live our lives.
Okay, so now that you know what environmental science is, let's talk a little bit about what you will need to succeed in the AP Environmental Science class. We're talking about the 3 E's that you need to know and be able to differentiate between them. So we have environmental, which refers to the natural world, and ecological, which refers to the interactions of the living things like plants and animals and their non-living things that they rely on, so the biotic and the abiotic factors that make up an ecosystem. Anytime you see either of those 2 words, environmental or economic, like we might say environmental services, or what is one thing that might damage the environment. That's just talking about the natural world without humans in it. So if you see environmental or ecological, we're talking about the natural world, no humans. If you ever need to say anything about how something impacts humans, then it will specify humans. And then the third E is economic. So economic and ecological are they sound kind of similar, and they're kind of hard to keep straight in your mind, but economic, or economic, however you want to say it, has to do with money. So we're talking about the cost of things, how much money you might be able to make from something, So those are the 3 E's, and you need to be able to know the difference between environmental, ecological, and economic. They're very important E's.
I cannot stress how important it is to not procrastinate. Do not procrastinate.
It is very important that you take notes on all the videos and readings. Look over every single part of the project group.
Never be too high to present because no one really pays attention to what you say to the teacher.
Make sure you have a good group for your projects.
Don't do projects with your friends.
Because you'll end up hating them.
Remember to cite your sources using the MLA format.
Okay, here is our Moodle page. There are some important things that you need to know about the page. So the first thing is the weekly calendar. This is where you will go at the beginning of every class for the most part, because that will tell you exactly what we're doing every day. So you'll just scroll down as soon as it loads. And you'll be able to see exactly what we did in class and for homework every day. So tomorrow in class, you will have a quiz on the syllabus and the video, and then you'll take a beginning of year survey. So the link for that is right there. So you need to open this calendar to get to all the links that you'll need for class. And then we'll talk about some current events and about the APES test. And then for homework, you'll take a diagnostic test. Any test or quiz will be found in the unit section below. So it'll be down here in the unit section below is where any test or quiz is. You'll post your current events every week down here in the unit below. But for whatever we do in class on a daily basis and what your homework is, you're going to go to the weekly calendar. The syllabus has a lot of important information in it that you will need to know for the quiz. So one thing I want to point out, so we have our supplies list, what you need to bring to class every single day, some things that would be really nice if your parents wanted to buy for us, your textbook, a recommended book, which is any AP Environmental Science test prep book, how your grades are broken down, all that jazz. Really important thing, I don't do late work. Late work will not be accepted more than 5 days after the original due date. So if something was originally due on, let's say, Wednesday, like your summer work, I will not accept it after Wednesday of next week. And each day that you turn it in late, you're going to lose a half a letter grade, which I think comes out to be about 5 points. And then there's also a schedule down here that you can look at as well. All right, so that is what you need to know about our Moodle page.